Hello everyone, and welcome to my podcast. Today, I want to talk about understanding others. We've been talking a lot about understanding ourselves, and really, in order to understand others, we need to understand ourselves first. It gives us the capacity to understand others. Now, understanding others is not easy. People are very complicated, and there are so many aspects and factors that affect who they are and how they are. There are genetical factors, the way they were raised, the traumas that they have endured, the environment that they were raised in, the schools they went to, the teachers, the friends. Really, there are so many factors that makes each person different. And I believe that we are all different. You won't find two people who are exactly the same, even if they were twins. But we can always find similarities in people. But just remember, if they are the same in some areas, that doesn't make them the same in everything or in all areas. We tend to think that without realizing it. And a lot of people feel like if they were different, then they don't belong, like I mentioned in the previous episode. And if we don't belong, then we are in danger. Because from back in the days when we were in tribes, we needed our tribe to survive. So we needed to belong, to be a part of that tribe so that we are accepted into it and not kicked out. Because if we were alone, we're just gonna die, right? Also, in our childhoods, at school, we needed to belong, to fit in, so that we are not bullied or made fun of, and not to be segregated from the group or the class, because kids can be really mean. So belonging becomes very important, and being similar, not different, becomes important. So until now, subconsciously, we feel like we don't want to be different. But you are different. We all are different. And in order to be ourselves, we need to embrace being different and just be. Without comparison, without changing to belong. We can change to improve and better ourselves, yes, but not to belong, because that would mean if we were surrounded by the wrong environment, then we would be influenced by it. And feeling different from the group or from the environment will make us feel odd, like everyone is one thing and then I'm another. So maybe they are right. So you tend to lose yourself if you don't belong. And I know that feeling of belonging is very important, but also decide who and what you want to belong to. All right. Now, having said that we are all different, there's a book that helps you understand people. And in order to do that, the writer categorized people into colors. Now again, I don't think that we can put people in boxes and have them all figured out this way. We are way more complicated than that, but it does help in understanding people. And it's really fun. As you're reading, you can visualize people that he is describing. So it's really very useful in understanding people and knowing how to communicate with them in business and life. The book is called Surrounded by Idiots by Thomas Erikson. It's a very smart title. Smart and offensive, but really, it's really funny. Because if you feel like you're surrounded by idiots, then you are the idiot. Because that means that you are not able to understand the people around you. And the book was inspired by a business owner who thought that pretty much all his employees are idiots. His definition of idiocity was simply anyone who didn't think or act like him. So, if you would like to understand how different people function, if you want to understand their behavior, and especially if you think you're surrounded by idiots, then this book and this episode is for you. And really, we all need to understand humans. So this is for everyone. So yalla. Let's get started. He categorizes human behavior into 4 types, each of which is associated with a color. We've got the dominant reds, the inspiring yellows, the stable greens, and the analytical blues. each have their strengths and their weaknesses. And he says that approximately only 5% of people have only one color dominate their behavior. About 80% have a combination of two colors dominating their behavior, and the rest are dominated by three colors. So listen closely to identify your colors first, and then identify those for others. We are starting with the reds. Reds are driven and ambitious people. When they want to accomplish something or have their mind set on something, خلاص, no one can stop them. They tend to be in managerial roles or pioneers and business owners, but they aren't great leaders because they don't understand people. They are not empathetic and are not people or relationship oriented. And they don't care about feelings. They are results oriented, so they push their people like there is no tomorrow. They want results now. They want everything now. Like yalla yalla yalla. Everything needs to be done now, fast. They are very impatient. They are also very decisive. Like they might think of an idea and yalla, want it to be implemented right now. They don't like to waste time. Time is money. So they like the communication to be direct and straight to the point. Don't sugarcoat things for them. But at the same time, if you have feedback for them, be ready to get attacked. If they don't like it, they won't accept it and will flip the table and come for you. So don't be shocked when that happens. They get mad fast and they're known for their hot temper. But really, their self-belief is very inspiring. They set very difficult goals for themselves and they work endlessly to achieve it. They are task-oriented, extroverts, and they enjoy challenges. If you want to motivate them, give them a challenge. But really, it's tough working for them. You will feel unappreciated and like an idiot many times because of the way they communicate. They can be unfiltered many times and they tend to micromanage because they're very controlling. So you don't feel trusted to do your job and don't feel like sharing your ideas because you know there is a high chance that they will be shut down and criticized. Here's a little paragraph that I read from the book about reds. But really, I feel like no matter how much I describe each color, I won't do them justice. So to get the full picture, you'll need to read the book. But I'm hoping that I'm able to give you a general idea on each color. So, the book says, reds are quick and more than happy to take command if needed. They make things happen. However, when they get going, they become control freaks and can be hopeless to deal with. And they repeatedly trample on people's toes. Now, yellows. Firstly, you can easily spot a yellow because they talk a lot. They like to be the center of attention. They are very extroverted and people-oriented, like very social. And they are very enthusiastic beings. They're very optimistic and they're easygoing and spontaneous, meaning they don't think things through. They are creative, charming, and persuasive. They will convince you of anything because they talk endlessly about it. Now, because they are people-oriented people and very social, they really care about being liked. So if you need to give them feedback, most probably about how much they talk, because they tend to not leave room for others to speak, and they tend to not get work done because they are busy chit-chatting. So when you have to provide them with that feedback, you need to be very gentle and assure them that they are liked. It's just that you need them to be aware of this and want them to work on it. But generally, yellows are fun people. They live to live. They always find opportunities for enjoyment. They love to laugh and enjoy life. You'll find them in the center of any gathering. They'll be entertaining people. They cheer people up and create a nice mood, a nice positive vibe. They also have a strong gut feeling. Like they make quick decisions, but they can rarely explain why using rational reasoning. They would just say it just felt right. And here's a little paragraph from the book on yellows. It says, yellows can be amusing, creative, and elevate the mood regardless of who they're with. However, when they are given unlimited space, they will consume all the oxygen in the room. They won't allow anyone into a conversation, and their stories will reflect reality less and less. Yalla, next. Greens. Greens are the most common as per his book. He describes greens as the average of all other colors, and it's not a negative thing. He says that while reds are stressed performance seekers, yellows are the creative bon vivant guys, and blues are perfectionist knights of Excel spreadsheets, greens are the most balanced. They are known for their kindness, they care for others, they're very empathetic, they are team players and would put the team before themselves. They are calm and chill, and they are very reliable. They will get things that are within their ability done. They aren't that fast, so don't expect it directly or too quick, but they will get it to you sometime around the expected date. Greens also make great friends, like they are great friends, because they are very understanding, they are great listeners. They listen way more than they talk. You wouldn't find them as the people who would directly raise their hand and answer a question or share their opinion. They prefer not to grab attention. They're introverts. But they're good at listening. However, that doesn't mean that they agree with you on what you're saying. And they might not offer suggestions and solutions, but they listen. Like they really hear you. And being a great listener creates deep friendships, as well as being very supportive, considerate, loyal, and reliable. Greens don't like conflict or confrontations, so they avoid offending anyone or creating any issue. And they can be lazy and just want to do nothing. They aren't those motivated people who have goals and dreams that they are tirelessly working on to achieve. They like the peace, the stability, the calm. And when you have to give them feedback, you need to give it in a very nice way, because they will feel bad and will simply withdraw and shut down. And they would blame themselves and call themselves stupid or bad or inconsiderate. So be gentle in your approach because they are very hard on themselves. And here's a little paragraph on greens from the book. It says, the friendly greens are easy to hang out with because they are so pleasant and genuinely care for others. Unfortunately, they can be too wishy-washy and unclear. Anyone who never takes a stand eventually becomes difficult to handle. You don't know where they really stand, and indecisiveness kills the energy in other people. Yalla, next. Blues. The last one. Blues are the perfectionists who take their time to get things right. And they are very right people. When they tell you something, they are very sure about it, or else they would say that they don't know. But they like to know. So you will find them reading, learning, researching to make sure that they know. And of course, they are very detail-oriented. They will go into the nitty-gritty and they tend to correct people a lot, which can be annoying and irritating for others, but it's because they want it to be told correctly, whatever it is. And automatically, they are a know-it-all because, again, they like to know and to be as accurate as possible. They are very organized and structured, which means that if things are not organized and planned, then they are thrown off and they need time to readjust and get themselves together. So obviously they are not spontaneous. Everything needs to be thought of and planned and risk assessed. They are very calculated beings who are also very questioning of things and can seem negative because they are realists who need facts and they need to follow logic. And they are also rule followers. They don't like to break the rules unless the rules don't make sense at all. And they are very conscientious. They want to do things right and do the right things. And they really think before they say or do anything. Like they think twice before they speak. So when you need to give them feedback, then you'll need to give examples and be as detailed as you can be because they will ask for it. Because they want to understand where is this feedback coming from. Because again, they think of their every move before they do it. And they always want to do the right thing and they make sure that they do it. So if you want to tell them that they did something wrong, then you need to prove it. And here's a short paragraph on blues from the book. It says, "The analytical blues are calm, level-headed, and think before they speak. Their ability to keep a cool head is undoubtedly an enviable quality for all who aren't capable of doing that. However, blues critical thinking can easily turn to suspicion and questioning those around them. Everything can become suspect and sinister." So that's it for the colors. Now, the next question that comes to mind, and after understanding ourselves, our colors, and others and their colors, what do we do with this knowledge? How do we use it? Well, as you know, communication happens at the listener's terms. So to communicate effectively with someone, you need to adapt your style to their colors characteristics. You're not changing your personality, you're adjusting your approach so the other person can receive your message in the way that works best for them. So when communicating with the dominant, direct, fast-paced red, you need to be direct, concise, and to the point. Focus on solutions, not problems. Speak with confidence, not hesitation. They will question you relentlessly if you show hesitation or uncertainty. Present options, not open-ended questions. Respect their time, be fast and clear. What you need to avoid is long stories before making your point. Being overly emotional, they don't care. You won't get to them that way. Hesitation or insecurity, and trying to micromanage them. They'll just micromanage you, right? Now, for the social, optimistic, creative yellows, you'll need to be friendly, upbeat, and expressive. You need to start with rapport before tasks, allow brainstorming and creative input, give them space to talk and share. Make sure you have the time for that. Use visuals, stories, and enthusiasm. What you need to avoid is monotone or emotionless talking, too many rules and rigid systems, criticizing their spontaneity, and overloading them with details. Now, with the calm, stable, and harmonious greens, you'll need to be patient, warm, and non-threatening. You'll need to give them the time to process and respond. You'll need to provide clear instructions and expectations. You'll need to make them feel heard and not rushed, and to offer support gently and consistently. Meanwhile, you need to avoid pushing them suddenly, criticizing their slow pace, forcing them to take big risks, and confrontational language. Like really, you need to be nice. Don't be too harsh. With the analytical, logical, and structured blues, you'll need to be specific, factual, and well prepared. You better be well prepared. You need to provide data, evidence, and clear logic. Also, allow them time to analyze and be consistent and organized. And also, of course, expect questions and answer them thoroughly. That's why you need to be well prepared. Meanwhile, you need to avoid emotional arguments, like just give them logic. Vague instructions or unclear timelines, they need you to be clear, no matter with what, just be clear. Avoid surprises or last-minute changes that will just throw them off, and overly casual communication. So that's all I have for you today. Of course, there is a lot more to learn in this book. So if you're interested in knowing more, then please read his book. I would say again that this wouldn't mean that we have other people all figured out. People are very complex, so we really need to take the time to understand other people. This is just a way to help us, like, kind of have it clear in our minds to know how to really get to them and communicate with them in the way that they prefer or they would understand best. So that's it for me today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Yalla, see you next time.